How do you order food for the office these days? How do you make sure it's on time and as ordered? How can you get it individually packaged? How? EasyCater. When you order on EasyCater.com, the food comes as ordered and on time 98% of the time. And when there's a problem, which is practically never,
thank you for calling EasyCater.
you can reach someone in about 9 seconds. How do you order 24/7 from more than 80,000 restaurants? How? EasyCater. Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
Hey, away we go. Welcome to show number 2,899. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, 3 Ted Smith, Robin Fox, and my cock, Montgomery. All right, the men's room. On tap today, who sucks less? The word gives us new words and new names. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, the men's room shot of the day, fun listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV time with Ted.
Clack, clack. Drink the draw.
All right, here we go. Not good when an airplane spells its own name wrong on the plane. Meanwhile, a Brooklyn man torches 135 luxury cars, and his reasoning is insane. Bizarre murder by yoga ball case finally comes to an end. A 400-pound man found not guilty for killing the 11-year-old he had pinned, and a whale gets dumped in a parking lot in New Hampshire, just like Planet Earth 2. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, an elderly grandmother in Livingston, Texas. She came face to face with a 12-foot-long, 580-pound alligator. This happened at her family's ranch. So what did she do? Well, she put a bullet in its head, took it to the taxidermist, and is now waiting for the meat to be eaten and have the head stuffed to be mounted in her office. It should be noted, she's also the town's mayor. But it seems that Meemaw, apparently a bit of a badass. But not to be outdone, we go to Ireland, where an 85-year-old man, he confronted 3 armed, masked men at a bar. Now, in a nutshell, he wrestled away the hammer from one guy. He tackled another. Things wouldn't be so easy with the third robber, who happened to be holding a shotgun pointed at him. I'm kidding. Seems that the shotgun-wielding robber did not want any part of the 85-year-old man who had armed himself with a bar stool. So old people, like, sure, they smell bad, they have hairy ears, all that stuff, but a lot of times you'll find out that they were a badass. Maybe they still are, maybe they were, but today, this is what we want to know. Think about Pop and Meemaw, the stories you've heard. When did you find out that your grandparent was a badass?
Be a part of the big show. Call 844-999-OLA. You can like The Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to themensroom@mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitch, hola. You have entered the men's room.
Oh, the show's and away we go. Welcome to show number 2,899. What a large and a charged program do we have for you today. A guaranteed future repeat. You will hear this either sometime in the near future or sometime in the not-so-distant past. An unbelievable show as, once again, Who Sucks Less makes its return. Steve the Thrill Hill, you bring us 3 stories each and every week from the news. It is up to us to determine, out of these 3 stories, which story sucks the least. How is the stack of stories looking this week?
It occurred to me today, this is how it works, right? They suck. No one's going to be happy about it. You're going to be mad at everyone involved. The difference is it won't pull at your heartstrings, all right?
All right, okay.
See, I realize when you bring animals into the equation, people get mad at me and tell me that I'm a monster. I am not responsible for these stories. This is what other people have done. So today, They suck, but it doesn't pull at your heartstrings.
Okay. The word is back. We've got some brand new words. As you know, each and every year, the dictionaries out there put in some new words. We have those for you, and some new names as well. Most of the new names are based on pulp culture, what is popular. So you've got some bizarre stuff as far as what kids have been named in the last year as well. That's coming up with a word. Another round of Profile This, and we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. And today we're going to talk about grandparents. And in this case, a woman who had been seeking revenge for quite some time, and it is a great-grandmother. A Texas woman says she shot and killed a 12-foot, 580-pound alligator at her ranch Monday that she suspects that ate her miniature horse. Now,
Circle of Life.
Now,
did she not see the movie? They put it right there in the song. Elton John sang this. It's, if you have a miniature horse and you have a ranch that's on a river in Texas, expect the miniature horse to become a miniature meal for the gators.
And you know how this works. I mean, the minute that somebody breaks out of jail, dogs are released into the woods. And,
right.
You know what I mean? The moment your miniature horse dies, if you're a guy, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to kill something. So you just go down and you take one alligator and you string him up and you go, here he is. But no. Judy Cochran knew how big her horse was and knew the sizes of the alligators that were actually close to her river and on her property. And she paid attention to this because she was looking for the alligator that she was sure that was large enough.
How much time had passed?
3 years. And that's what I'm saying about.
Wow.
I mean, think about the lifetime theory of just getting revenge.
This is exactly what I'm saying.
A guy doesn't just rush down there and shoot his gun off into the air.
It's just one of the, and I think both genders agree with this statement. As best we can tell, the circumstantial evidence put in front of us in 90% of these cases, if a guy kills his wife or his girlfriend, it is abrupt, right? He may have planned it where he takes her hiking and pushes her off of a cliff, but still, he pushes her off of a cliff. It is violent. It is abrupt. If a woman is going to kill a guy, she has planned this, she has plotted this, and it's over a 6-month period slowly so that no one can trace it back. So what that means, fellas, is look at the woman in your life. She might be actively killing you right now.
Now, she's had a pretty good 2018 to begin with. In an interview with the USA Today for the story, in May, she became the mayor of Livingston, Texas.
Nice.
Right. She's a great-grandmother. She made the mayor. And then earlier in September, she became a great-grandmother. And now she's telling the story of her memorable hunt. She killed the gator with one shot, plans to eat the meat, and hopes to display the gator's humongous head in her office. Not only did she plot this out
for 3 years,
she did this completely legally and the most, in her mind, humane way possible.
So, one shot.
Yeah. She said she doesn't think of herself as a hunter because she's not. And she doesn't want to seem like she's bragging about the harvest because she's not. But she's been looking for this gator for 3 years because the miniature horse that she loved went missing about 3 years ago, and the animal's remains, well, they were never found. We suspected a gator, but it would have to be a big gator, she said. Now, since then, multiple alligators have been found on her property. All kinds of them. She's never even bothered them. Just shoot them away.
She just knows that they're not the ones.
They're not the ones. They're not big enough, which includes several miles of riverfront property. But it wasn't until Monday that she saw an animal large enough that could have eaten her miniature horse, and that animal was located. Now, here's what else you have to know. There is a limited season for hunting alligators in Polk County, Texas. It is 20 days in September. So she waited for the window. The gator, as far as it being legally hunted, all right, it must be captured on a hook. So basically, like you're fishing, you have to catch the animal on a giant hook, and then basically you have to shoot the alligator once it's hooked.
She did that.
There was a baited hook on her property, and on Monday, she received a call. A gator was on the hook.
Do you think she baited it with another miniature horse?
After she shot the animal, it was immediately taken to a taxidermist, she said. She said the resources from the alligator are being put to good use. The hide is being made into boots, and its meat will be eaten, she said.
All right.
Yes.
And we know where its butt's going.
We know where its butt's going.
Miles' bucket.
The gator was found in the same pond where Cochran's then 5-year-old grandson shot a gator in 2009. That gator was even bigger, 800 pounds, 12 foot, 6 inches.
A 5-year-old shot a gator?
Mm-hmm.
Man versus beast.
Absolutely. I don't know. I'll tell you what we'll do. Here we go. I don't think we've told the story on the air.
That seemed like the appropriate time, Miles. And I know you love that.
Mm-hmm. They didn't shorten it down like they were going to.
No, I think he edited something out of it.
Yeah, I think I still got the duck at the end there. So my friend Laura, she does hide work, right? Mm-hmm. So she made me an alligator wallet, but on the outside is the alligator business end of the wallet. So we'll put this picture up so you can see this.
It's a butthole
on Instagram.
That is what it is.
So
she literally, because it's in the hide, right? It's in the hide because that's where the orifice is.
Yeah. Now, if you follow the Men's Room on Instagram at Men's Room Live, we'll put the picture up. But this is not just that end. The alligator orifice here that is on my wallet. Now, this is the full business deal. This is the entertainment and dining district of the alligator. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the business end. This is where you use the
all business.
You go number 1. You go number 2, and you
number
have
69,
and you have sex. Yes. All out of this one mighty orifice. Could you imagine the power of that
mighty orifice?
Think of all the things it does.
This wallet is actually unbelievable.
It's powerful.
To give you an idea, it looks like a silver teardrop.
It looks like Ace Frehley got a crocodile wallet or an alligator wallet. It's badass.
And that is literally the...
Yeah.
What is the reaction when you pull that out and tell people what it is? Because I think having a gator... If you're like, hey, I got a gator wallet and I'm sitting next to a bar, I'd be like, cool.
Right.
You're like, it's its butt. I'd be like...
it's its
like specifically?
Right.
Specifically.
Like it's its butt. You know, it's where the business is. Everything goes right there. Which is probably...
What is the reaction?
I think people think I'm insane. But I also thought to myself, who else has an alligator ass wallet?
Nobody.
Right. And so that's what, that was what
you
my
get a Halloween mask.
Yeah, I mean, it's a one of a kind. You know what I mean?
It is.
Like one day, like my great-great-great-great-grandkid will be like on Antiques Roadshow and said, my great-great-great-great-grandfather had an ass H wallet made.
Right.
What's this worth? Our question, when did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA. And by that time, I would have killed the alligator with my bare hands and made the wallet
That's
myself.
how the stories travel, man.
Exactly. Right. Over the generations.
See, start telling that story now. People ask, well, I only did this because I killed him myself.
I jumped on his back.
Stuck my finger in that giant orifice and ripped him open. Hello, John. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so I found out my granddad was a badass probably about 6-7 years ago. I didn't know him much growing up, but my dad was actually really close with him, and he told me that my grandpa used to have 2 dogs. Now, I was only familiar with one dog, and his name was Duke, the black lab. And Duke was really mild-mannered, didn't ever bark, didn't ever mess with anybody, and he said he used to have 2 dogs right before I was born. Well, that's about the second dog, and he tells me the story I'm about to tell you. So he always took his dogs with him everywhere he went. He had an old 48 Ford pickup. He'd always go to the Club Cigar in downtown, my hometown back in Montana, and just leave the dogs in the truck. Well, he'd go in and just get completely smashed. There was no such thing as drinking and driving at this time.
Right.
So,
no, if you were driving, you were probably drinking. I think the way it worked.
Yeah, pretty much. So, anyway, he's hanging out in the Club Cigar. Some dude walks in saying that there's a 48 Ford out front with 2 dogs in there just going crazy, just barking constantly, and they won't shut up. And the bartender says, "Isn't that your truck, Big John? You need to go take care of that." So he goes outside, opens up the door, takes a shotgun out of the back window, blows one of the dogs away, hangs it back up, shuts the door, and goes back in. The other dog never barked again.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
That is not what I expected you to say.
I mean, is he nuts?
I thought you were going to say somebody was rowling up the dog.
Wow.
He just shot his dog.
Wow, man.
That is
man. 8 years. Had him 8 years.
That's a country and western song that's never been made.
Wait, he had the dog for 8 years before he did that?
Yep.
Damn.
Did he ever tell you the baked bean recipe?
Did he ever tell me what?
And that's how Duke passed on.
Jesus Christ. Duke came up the goods and got his head blown off,
No, you're right. Duke never told anybody that recipe because his brother got blown away for barking.
He didn't even want to talk about it.
So that's why no one knows. No one knows the secret to Bush's baked beans.
They were both
Duke's like, I want to tell you, dude, but I swear to God.
I learned years ago I don't talk, especially outside of bars.
They're both barking and one didn't make it out alive.
Jesus, man.
When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
I just didn't see that coming. That's not where I thought that story would go, man.
No, I'm dead serious. I thought it was going to be he took a shotgun, he goes outside, somebody's messing with the dogs, So he
Right.
maybe like, I don't know.
I'll put it this way.
Somehow I'm fine with him beating a man up with a shotgun over shooting the dog.
I think I thought it would end any way other than how it did. So every once in a while, like at a bar, someone like, oh, I hate this guy. He's a one-upper, right? So no matter what story, you also need right turners, right? So if you know that dude is going to come to the bar and hang out, like, hey, man, one thing you need to know that he's a right turner. He's going to tell you a story. And whatever you think is about to happen, that is not it at all, man. Mm-hmm. Like, that is a warning I put on. Yeah, the dogs were barking. So he went outside, and he blew one away with the shotgun. The other dog never barked again.
As we evolve as humans, things get more sensible, it seems, or hopefully they do.
What do you mean? How so?
I think that we evolve to a certain degree, maybe not as fast as we should, but I mean, that would not be the norm today, you would hope. Maybe it would be the norm in Montana to open up your truck door and just.
That's not the norm for anybody. That's not the norm.
I think
that is not the norm.
Things evolve.
Because if that were the case, if that were the norm anyway, it'd be like, one thing that's weird about Montana is when you go to Montana, everyone has a dog, but none of the dogs bark. But if that were the norm, that's how it'd be.
As he said, like back then, you know what I mean? You got hammered, you drove to the bar.
But is that look? I know
it's not okay. I'm saying
no.
Things evolve for hopefully the better. You would hope.
Back in the day. You drive into a tree, right? And this is like early 70s, mid-70s. You drive into a tree, the cops show up. What the hell happened? Oh, man, I got drunk. And they're like, oh, okay, well, that explains it, right? That explains what. But you weren't under arrest. But I don't think that at the same time, what the hell happened in the back of your car? And kind of like Marvin in Pulp Fiction, it's like, well, he kept yapping, so I blew his head off. Like, I don't think they would say, okay. Even then.
Yeah,
that is not the norm.
And it's his own dog in his own car.
You gotta clean it up. When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Sean. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, so my grandfather passed, and I was having a couple of beers with my dad, and he was telling me stories. And he told me that when my grandfather didn't have a very good relationship with his family, so he ditched high school to join up with the war effort. I believe it was World War II at the time. Don't quote me on that. But he got a bunch of like documents falsified so he could join up underage and like try to like basically slide it under the radar.
All right.
And so it was the Marine Corps, and he got all the way through boot camp and was like good to go when someone connected the dots and was like, hey, you can't be here, you're underage. But then he had gotten so far that they ended up keeping him on, and they just let him be a lifeguard at the Marine Corps boot camp. He was like 4 years.
He's like the Tracy Lords of World War II.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Started underage, but made a career out of it. Everyone just let it slide. How long was he in the Marines?
So he ended up doing 4, and then it's my understanding after 4, they were like, dude, we can't let you stay. Like, this wasn't kosher to begin with.
Huh. So, how young was he when he went in?
So I guess when he finished boot camp, I think he started boot camp at like 16, and he finished around 17. But like, I've seen pictures of him in uniform, and you were not like, oh, that guy's over 18. You're very much like, that guy is definitely not 18.
He's 12. Right. Okay.
He looks like Captain America before he got the juice.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It seems odd the Marines would need a lifeguard at their pool.
Yeah, I mean, I was Navy, not Marine Corps, but different time, maybe. Maybe they had a different time, different era.
Or they had an underage kid who they're like, let him stay, we got to find a job.
Maybe that's why they made him the lifeguard, because everybody there knows how to swim, or they'll train you how to swim. Like,
I don't think you filled a position as much as they made one
that's
for
what
you.
He put as his last job was anyway. When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
Just give away those jobs.
You hear that, Mike? He was a lifeguard for the military. Kept his job for 4 years. Just saying. That's who it is.
Made something out of himself.
James, welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
All right, so my grandpa was about 16 when World War II started. He grew up in Budapest, Hungary. And during the war, didn't know whether he was German or Russian from day to day. And he would tell us stories about how he would jump on the freight trains and throw food off of them as the soldiers shot at them, and then run back and grab the food before the other villagers would get it. And on a couple occasions, he grabbed some food, ran into a minefield, and just sat on the mines so the other people wouldn't get into him and steal the food that he had stolen. Another time, he had pulled a hand grenade and held on to it for a little too long, and he blew off a couple fingers to get the crowd to leave him alone. and one other time where he got shot when the soldiers were shooting at him from the train, and they told him that he was going to lose his foot because when he jumped off the train, he cut it up because there wasn't enough. Saved his foot.
Jesus.
It said that's Budapest hungry, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Sounds like there's a lot of hunger going on.
There was.
From an ironic standpoint, yes.
So did he end up, I don't know much about Hungary's role in all of this, or did it end up German or Russian as far as his time there?
They ended up Russian, and he tried to overthrow the Russians when they became the satellite nations there in Eastern Europe. And, of course, they lost, and the Red Cross and American forces found him dying in a ditch, patched him up, and brought him over to the U.S. and gave him political asylum.
White. Just guessing. Wow, man.
Yeah,
so what have you done with your life?
He was super laid back when I was growing up, but, I mean, if you had your head in a refrigerator and you didn't acknowledge his presence, he would slam the fridge on you and yell at you for having crappy situation awareness, things like that. But he was super laid back otherwise, just minded his own business.
I can see how situational awareness was important to him. Damn. Wow. Okay.
All right. Very good. Jesus.
Wow. Situational awareness.
Different times to us, yeah.
He's so angry.
Well, I mean, you got to figure, man, if that's how you grow up, situational awareness is everything. So you're looking at your grandkid like, it's for its own good. Kick that fridge on his head.
That's where you clean your plate. When did you find out that your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA. Hold the line. Where your call's coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Great grandpa fights off armed robbers and the video goes viral. We go to Glenmire, Ireland. Man, I'm telling you what, you've never heard a more Irish-sounding story in your entire life. A fearless 85-year-old great-grandfather is being hailed as a hero and an internet sensation after surveillance footage of him scarring 3 weapon-wielding robbers from a betting shop in Ireland went viral over the weekend, according to the BBC.
Aye, matey.
Video showed Dennis O'Connor sitting in Bar 1 Racing in Cork County. Saturday evening, when the masked would-be thieves burst into the venue, 2 of the men rushed the counter. They demanded money.
Give us your money.
They threatened the store manager, Timmy Murphy.
Timmy Murphy.
While the other pointed his shotgun at O'Connor. Moments after, he jumped into action and wrestled one of the men who was waving a hammer, eventually forced that guy to run out. And once O'Connor grabbed a stool, he scared off a second man who was carrying a shotgun. Meanwhile, Timmy Murphy tackled the remaining robber and then decided to retreat, but not without O'Connor landing a final kick. Timmy Murphy said he was thankful for Dennis O'Connor's timely intervention. I owe Dennis a huge debt of gratitude. It was incredible.
Gratitude is what I owe him.
It was an incredible act of bravery from this
He was brave.
If you see the video,
I owe gratitude for his bravery.
This guy does not have any hesitation. He is up. He is moving. He's like bam, bam, bam. Like, he does not even look like he's moving like an 85-year-old. He looks like just like a 25-year-old dude who gets up and decides to take care of business. And when he kicks the guy, he kicks his ass hard. Right. I mean, it's like this guy. I don't know if you guys have seen this video. We'll try to pull it up for you, but it's pretty intense stuff. The superintendent, Mickey Combs,
really
says.
Really? Think about the names: Timmy Murphy, and Dennis O'Connor.
Mickey Combs says local police are looking for the men. They haven't caught him. While O'Connor and Murphy were able to foil the robbery, their advice is for regular people not to intervene. There's a huge risk factor in
I'm not a regular man.
To take on people who come in and carry out a robbery. As for his newfound fame, O'Connor, he declined the interview request and instead played a par 3 golf course Monday morning.
A par 3, I like it.
He is apparently anxious for the publicity to blow over so he can go back to normal living.
Needs to get back to his
drinking, gambling, right?
Yeah, he was in the betting parlor.
Thank you for your bravery.
When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
That was just a dead-on Irish accent. Hello, Craig. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola!
Hola!
What's up, gentlemen?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. So, my grandpa was a serious badass.
All right.
During the Depression, he hunted cougars for bounty. And he did quite well. He did better than his father, who was the chief of police of Enumclaw at the time. He made more money 2 years in a row killing cougars.
And what does one fetch for a dead cougar?
I couldn't tell you back in the day, but it was close to 3 months' wages for one cougar, and he had dogs, unlike the guy in Montana that he cherished. Coon dogs and hound dogs.
Yeah.
And he has a story about his favorite dog swam across a swollen creek in snow, and he had to tie up all the other dogs to go after it, and about died rescuing this dog, but it was his best dog. So
Then he shot it in the head.
So what was it? Was it the fur, the skin of the cougar that was worth money? The pelt, I guess?
It's up above Enumclaw, and at that time it was homesteading and sheep farmers. And
okay.
Cougars and sheep don't mix.
No, they mix quite well is the problem.
All right, so that was just one of those ways where you paid him and saved some sheep.
Yeah, actually it was state-sponsored at the time.
Okay, and I guess
you get like a free wool coat or free cheese or something. I mean, like in return, like seriously, like look, man, you got all these sheep, right? I'm keeping the cougars away.
You get a wheel of cougar gold.
That's what I mean. Like, give me a wheel of cheese and a nice pea coat, right?
Right.
That seems fair.
I think it was more buckskin country, and they did have to bring back the heads. That's the only part of the cougar, and he ate them because he was camping at the time.
Hold on, he ate the cougar heads. Or no, you just had to bring back the head.
He brought the head back to get the money.
How did he?
But he was.
What does he think cougar? How does cougar taste? How did he describe it?
he said it's just like anything else barbecued, delicious.
All right. Barbecue cat,
especially if you're
you probably had it and you don't even know.
Barbecue cougar.
Yeah, but if you're living in a tent and it's like that old school days, like I think hot meat of any kind, you'd be like, "Yep,
you ate anything?
Meat.
Yeah, hot meat.
Yeah. Just scoop it up, dump it on your plate. Hot cougar meat." When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
I got a couple of comments here. It says, I found out that my grandmother is banned permanently from at least 4 strip clubs because she would cut the male dancers' thongs off. I remained anonymous. I want you to think about it. She would go to the male review and cut the thongs off. Found out my granddad was a bare-knuckle wrestler in saloons back in Montana. And his youth during the 20s and 30s. And I love this name, that from Slippery Lou.
I don't think they call that bare-knuckled wrestling. I think it's just fighting.
Yeah, the original MMA.
Yeah, that's a good call, man. I've never heard, you're right, bare-knuckle fighting.
Everyone
bare-knuckle wrestling?
Everyone wrestles bare-knuckled.
Right. That's pretty standard.
Yeah, it is.
Then it says, I found out my grandpa was a badass when I learned that he was a smoke jumper in Montana. He was one of those guys that would jump out of the airplane with a crappy military parachute and fight forest fires.
Oh, wow.
That is badass.
See, I mean, okay, it's one thing to jump into enemy territory. It's one thing to jump at night. It's another thing to jump into a fire. I'm sure. What if you blow into it?
I mean, I know they get the logistics. I can't wrap my head around how that's a great idea.
What do you do when you're down there? Now you're down there. All right, now you got a hose or something?
But it's that hard to get in. How do you get out?
Yeah,
how do you get out of a place that's hard to get in?
Well, you walk out because you put out the fire, hopefully.
But hopefully. With your axe and your what? Your shovel? Just you? I don't know, but I don't know if I'm buying that.
I'm dead.
You're not dropping me in there, man, like that. Hell with that. I'm standing back with a hose.
How do I get out? Oh, you put on.
All right, I'll stop, drop, and roll with like a towel in my kitchen. That's not how that's going down. When did you find out that your grandparent was a badass? 844-99-OLA. Hold on, more of your calls here coming up in just seconds.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.
All right, showtime. You ready?
Born ready.
Great. Did you bring the dongle?
What's a dongle?
Never mind. We'll just show them on your laptop.
I was supposed to bring my laptop?
Don't panic. You shared the presentation with me, right?
I forgot.
Well, if you log in, then we can...
My password. I was about to say I forgot my password.
You ordered the food through EasyCater, right?
Yes?
We'll be fine.
Food can make or break a presentation, so make sure you order at EasyCater.com. Individually packaged food delivered right on time. How? EasyCater.